Hello, it's Mystery Stamping Mystery Monday. My name is Theresa Tucker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I have been stamping, making cards for, over 20 some years. And I first joined Stampin' Up! In 2006. Prior to that, I was doing scrapbooking. So thank you so much for being here this evening. We're going to have some fun with Mystery Monday. And here's a list of everything that you need to have available. These are the actual dimensions in the cardstock that you need. And then further down here, adhesives, heat tool, ribbon, wink, Stella, and so forth. They're things that you just need to have access to should we end up using them. And if you do have a heat tool and embossing powder, we will be using that. But if you don't have that, if you don't have embossing powder, we'll do something different for that. That's fine. It's not a big deal. And use your stamps. You don't need to use Stampin' Up! I want you to be creative. I want you to start using your stamps and scissors and start crafting a little bit. So that's what this is all about. So I will give you just a couple of minutes to gather the supplies. If you're new and you haven't played before, you don't know how it goes. So go ahead and gather those supplies and I'll just wait. And thank you again for being here. If you missed my video when I'm live, you'll be able to watch it later. It'll be posted on Facebook as soon as I'm finished with it. And then it will also be posted on YouTube. So you'll have access to it. If I go too fast, then you can stop and rewind. During the live portion, I don't think that you can stop and rewind, but definitely once it plays afterwards, then you can definitely stop and rewind either on Facebook or on YouTube, whichever you decide to catch the video. So thank you again for being here. And I am ready to get started on clue number 2 if you are. I've been working on my cards today and I'm excited to show you what the mystery card looks like. Whoops. Okay, clue number 2. Stamp the flower across the bottom of the 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 basic white cardstock and on the scrap of white cardstock with gray ink. And my clues got messed up on their pages. It's not on the right page. But that's what's coming next. So go ahead and let's see. I'm going to show you what I mean by this. So I will grab a scrap piece of cardstock and I will use a flower from here. And let's see, these are rubber, so grab this and this. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is stamp. Get here's some ink. So what I want you to do is just stamp along the bottom. You're going to create a sort of like a little bouquet across the bottom of your card. This is what's going to go on the front. So I just want you to stamp along the bottom like this. And then if you want to color it in, you can do that. You don't have to. You can leave it just like that. It's pretty all by itself. But that's the instruction. That's what I mean by stamp the flower across the bottom of the 5 by 3 3/4 basic white cardstock. You don't have to use gray ink. You can use Memento Black, or you can use a different color that you want to outline your flower in if you are going to color in the center of it. Some stamp sets have the color, they're called two-step stamping, and so they will have like your outside detailed part, like what I just stamped a moment ago, and then it will also have a second stamp that's meant to color the inside. So I created one of these cards and I stamped this in a deep pink, and then I stamped this in a lighter pink. So that's how some of the stamp sets come. And if you don't have a stamp set like that, that's fine too. You can use markers, or you can use Stampin' blends, or some people have watercolor pencils. So anything like that would be appropriate. And I think on my next clue it says to color it in. Let's see. Color the flowers with coordinating stamp blends, watercolor, pencils, etc. And that's clue number 3. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate you showing up tonight. It's helpful for me. I'm trying to build my business, and having you here really means a lot to me. And once this video is finished, I will also post it on my blog, and I'll have printable instructions and a list of supplies included with that. I may not get all of that on until tomorrow, but that's what I typically will do, is just post all that information on my blog. So if you're ready, I'll go on to clue number 4. I don't have anybody talking today, so this is probably going to go pretty fast. So use a die or fussy cut the single flower you stamped on the scrap of white cardstock. So remember, I showed you this, and then I also asked you to have a second piece of cardstock that was just separate, so then you would stamp that with the same stamp, and after you color it in, then you're going to fussy cut around it, get it cut out, or sometimes there's a die that will fit the flower, fit the stamp, and then you can use that to cut it out. Sometimes it's a punch. So that's what I'm talking about with that. So I hope you had a good day. Today was Monday, so everything feels like it starts over on Monday. You have an opportunity to have a really good week. You're the one in control of that. You have a good week, and you can decide how you're going to react to the things that are going on in your life. You can have a positive reaction, or you can have a bad reaction to it. So it's really up to you. You're the one that controls your ultimate destiny. So that's I just encourage you just to stay positive. And since I don't have anyone talking with me tonight online, I will go ahead and move on to clue number 5. So emboss a sentiment on the black strip of cardstock with white embossing powder and set with the heat tool. If you don't have embossing powder, you can stamp the sentiment in black on a white strip of cardstock. And I thought about this after I put these clues together. If you're going to use a white piece of cardstock, you can always make a small, a slightly larger piece of the black cardstock to adhere it to, and that kind of will help that to stand out even more. So since our cards are white, having a little bit of that black behind the white strip of cardstock would be would just set it off. So I'm going to wait a little bit for you to emboss. So I ordered a bunch of stuff from Stampin' Up. My order came in over the weekend, and tomorrow I'm going to show you everything that I got, and it's exciting. The new stuff, every time Stampin' Up comes out with a new catalog, it's very exciting. We get to buy a bunch of it in advance. Stampin' Up has about 50 things or so, that's just a wild guess, of items that we can purchase in advance. And so we take advantage of that. So we get to purchase those things about a month in advance of the catalog going live. The catalog went live on May the 4th. So I have been making a lot of cards, but I'm going to show you what I got tomorrow. I'm going to show you what I got. I haven't used any of the new stuff. The stuff I used tonight is new, but but I have shared these stamp sets before. When I did the walkthrough of the catalog, we talked about some of these stamp sets. So if you missed that, you can scroll back and check it out, or hop on over to YouTube or my blog and you can see the walkthrough there. I hear my doggie outside the door. I'm sitting in my stamp studio and he's usually in here with me because he's a mama's boy. He's a beautiful, he's a American dingo. He's just gorgeous. And I have a picture of him on my blog in my About Me section. If you want to check him out, you can head over there later and take a peek at him. He's just beautiful. Okay, let's go on to clue number 6. Adhere the stamped layer to the 5 1/4 by 4 inch black layer, and then you're going to add those layers to the front of the card base. It rained here today. I'm in East Central Illinois and it rained. Not too bad though. I have the window open and it didn't get wet. But it was a little chilly at the same time. I had to put my sweater on. So right now, a bunch of my fellow demonstrators from our group are in Hawaii because they earned the incentive trip. Stampin' Up! Takes everybody who earns, you have to have 5 demonstrators under you. One has to be silver, and then so much in sales, then you can earn the incentive trip. I have friends who have earned the incentive trip the very first year they started Stampin' Up! And I've been doing this for 2 years, and I work a full-time job on top of it all. So it's going to take me a little longer to get to that point where I can win a free trip for 8 nights in Hawaii or elsewhere in the world. And my husband gets to go along too, and it's all free. Okay, here's clue number 7. Adhere the sentiment strip toward the bottom of the card over the stamped flowers. So what that means is, here's your flowers on the front. So you're just going to put that black strip of cardstock right here that you just embossed right down here towards the bottom. You want to put the embossment at this end and then just the black strip all the way across, or however you want to do it is fine. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. The nice thing about Stampin' Up! And doing the mystery stamping, it's however you, whatever you decide you want to do with the instructions that are given to you. That's why many of our cards are all different. So if you create a card using my clues, then go ahead and post it on your Facebook page and just tag me so I can look. And then I'll put your name in a drawing for one of my cards. And then at the end of the month, well, actually the first Monday of the following month, I'll draw names again for some neat supplies from Stampin' Up! I think you'll enjoy. Okay, so clue number 8. Stamp and color a flower onto the 5 1/4 by 4 inch basic white cardstock towards the bottom on either left or right side. Then adhere it to the inside of the card. So I did not cut mine out. I don't think I did. No, I just stamped mine in the bottom right hand corner of the cardstock that I'm putting inside. And something else I did with mine is that piece on the inside, because it's white and the card is also white, I put another black piece of cardstock behind that and framed it. The first one I didn't do it that way. And then the second two, because I made 3 of them, I put that black cardstock behind it, and it really helped it a lot. So thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope that you like and share my video. If you do share it, then I will put your name in a drawing for that for the end of the month, which we will celebrate the first Monday in June. So I appreciate you sharing the video. Okay, we'll go on to clue number 9. Adhere the flower that you cut out to the front of the card with dimensionals, overlapping the white or black strip with the sentiment on it. So it's always fun to come up with the different clues, the different card. I need to be prepared in advance. So usually while I am making the card, that's when I write my clues down, because I need to put them in a specific order, of course, so we can follow them. And sometimes I don't get it right all the way, because sometimes I make a card and then I change how I'm going to, how I want it to be made, and then I forget to change it on here. But most of the time that's not going to matter at all. It's right. It's not going to mess up the card or anything. It'll turn out just fine. So have you been stamping for a while? Just leave me a message in my comments. Tell me where you're from. Tell me how long you've been crafting. What other crafts do you enjoy? Have you done any scrapbooking? I'd just love to hear about all of that from you. I miss it when my friends aren't on here with me. Nobody to talk to. Okay, so we'll go on to clue number 10. Stamp a flower onto the front of the envelope and also onto the flap and color in as desired. Now, I don't think I included that I was going to stamp an envelope. In fact, I did not stamp an envelope. I usually do, but I didn't get it put in the clue one of all the items that we were needing for tonight. So if you don't have an envelope available, you can stamp one later, but you don't have to at all if you don't want. So usually I will stamp an envelope. I usually decorate the envelope with the like with the designer series paper. Like this is a card that we did. Whoops. This is called the drapery fold, and we did this technique Thursday last week. And this is the envelope in the back. And I just put a strip of designer series paper on there. And then I also, sometimes I just put, yeah, like this one. So here's another drapery fold that I did. This is the double drapery fold. And for this one, I put designer series paper on the flap of the envelope. And then sometimes I'll stamp in on the lower right or left hand corner on the front as well. So that's what I was talking about. And clue 11, embellish as desired with wink of Stella, ribbons, gems, whatever you want to put on your card, however you want it. Like I was saying earlier, I created my cards, but I did not get a chance to embellish them, so maybe I'll do some of that right now while you're embellishing yours. I've got a lot of embellishments. Sometimes it's hard to decide what to do. Oh, I think I'll use these. We have some new embellishments with the release of the new catalog. And so, while you're doing that, I will embellish mine. That's a little tiny one. I did something else to my cards too when I show you. I'll tell you a little bit about it. I don't know. It's probably something that you've done before. If not, you've at least seen it probably. Okay. So, one more thing. I thank you for playing along. And as I mentioned earlier, please upload your card to your Facebook page before May 24th for a chance to win one of my cards. Your name will also be put into a drawing for a prize, and I will draw one name live on June 7th at 7 p.m. right here on my Facebook business page. And then here's my connecting information. It's right here too. This is a host code. This will be active until the end of May. In June, I will post another host code. These are important because it helps me and you keep track of your orders that you place online through me. And after you get 20 Tucker tokens, then you get a $50 shopping spree. So for each $25 you spend before tax and shipping, you get one Tucker token. And some months I double those. So you certainly want to play along and get your orders in so that you can have that $50 shopping spree on me. So that's that. And here are my cards. So this one is the first one that I did. And so you can see I didn't put a black mat behind it. That's when I realized it probably needed something else. And here I splattered ink. I used the Blackberry Bliss, and there's a technique that you use with a Stampin' Right marker, and then flicking it with something will cause the splatters onto your cardstock, and that's the technique that I used for that. And you can see that pretty well right there. Here is another card that I made. I did the same technique with this one. I used the polished pink, is one of the new Stampin' Up! In colors. And it matches the outline on these flowers. So here on the inside, I stamped the flower down here in the bottom right hand corner, and this is the one that I used a black mat with, and I think it looks better to me. Gives it a little bit more interest. And then here's this one. This is the other one that I made. I did the splatter technique again, and this time I used cherry cobbler. I believe that's the name of it. Just a second, let me look. I left my stamp pads out so I can remember to tell you what I used. Yeah, cherry cobbler. That's what I used for that. And then again on the inside, I stamped it and colored it with the cherry cobbler Stampin' Blends. So I did not finish decorating the front. So I'm going to grab my mini glue dots, and I like to use my take a pick tool to put my embellishments on the front of my card. I just had it in my hot little hands and now I can't find it. Oh, brother. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, I think I'm going to move this one. Hopefully I don't tear it. If I do, though, I'm just going to put another embellishment in its place. It's just not going to be one of these flowers. There we go. All right, I'll see if I've got some fresh freesia dots in here. I do have a few. So I think I'll put on one of these larger ones. Let's put that over that. And put another one up here. So now we have 4 embellishments. We need to have an odd number. That's what they tell us. So there's another one. And then for this one, let's put a pink flower on there. This is the polished pink. And we'll put a small one on there too. So for this one, because the flower is so much smaller, I'm just going to kind of roll this mini glue dot up into a little ball. I'll put it on here, and then we'll move the flower over. Oops. Press it down. That should keep it. I'm also going to add Pale Papaya. This is also one of our new colors. And let's see, I'll add one of these here. So there's 5. We'll stick with that. And then this one, I use cherry cobbler and I don't have a cherry cobbler. It's not an in color, so I don't have anything to go with it. I might, though, have some red gemstones left. I like to put these back in bags because they stay together. They don't end up sticking to other dimensionals or other. I don't want that. I want this. Well, that's not exactly the same. I don't think we'll get by with that one. Let's put some black dots on it. That'll be pretty. Yeah, so these are the matte black dots. Stampin' Up! Came out with these during the mini catalog, which is still live. It'll continue to be live through the end of June. So you still have a chance to order products from that catalog. If you need a catalog, let me know. I'd be happy to send you one. One thing to note about the mini catalog is that there are several stamp sets. There's several bundles in there that won't be bundled in the new catalog, even if they carry over. Most of the time they're not bundled. So while they're bundled, you save 10% on the order or on the stamp set on the bundle. So it's worth investing in. So I think that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed Mystery Monday, and I hope you join me again. Leave me a comment, thumbs up, let me know that you liked it. Share my video. I'll put your name in the drawing. And I really appreciate you being here. Thanks again. Bye-bye.